So good morning, everybody. Happy to see that already a lot of people in the call. I just want to make a quick sound and technology check. So if you can hear me well and see my screen, could you maybe just use a thumbs up or the raise your hand symbol in the good? Okay, perfect. Great, thank you also. That seems to be good. Great, so let's wait a bit further for more people to join, and then we will just start around 10-ish. Thank you all. So everybody, again, a warm welcome. Just a short heads up, we are waiting that more and more people are joining now, and meaning we will start maybe 1 minute after 10, somewhere around this. So just stay tuned, and we will soon begin. So I see that more and more people are joining, so we are giving it a few more seconds and then we will start. Maybe once again for the new ones, can you all hear me? Then please as well raise the hand so that we are aware of that. Great, perfect, sounds good. So one more person to join here. Well, but then, I mean, let's get started. So let me as well share my camera. So good morning, everybody. I'm happy to see all of you here, and I'm happy to host another webinar today talking about our most recent module, the AI Claim Clarifier. And my name is Viktor Rudolf. I think many of you know me. For the ones that don't, I'm the CPO, so the product manager here at IamIP, responsible for the development of the IamIP platform. And at the same time, I'm as well heading our customer success team. So really the people that help you, help our customers, help our users so that they can make the most out of the IamIP platform, get the biggest added value, the most benefits. And that's as well one of the reasons why I'm so happy for this webinar today, because I know for many of the clients that I'm supporting in the daily work that analyzing claims, understanding claims is really one of the key challenges, so a very time-consuming task, and that's why I'm happy to share a bit of a painkiller to this kind of problem today. Good, but then first of all, a little bit of a look on what's coming up now in the next around 30 minutes. We will have, of course, a big, a short start about IamIP, because I see a few people here which are new, which maybe don't know us yet. But then, of course, we talk about the background of the claim clarifier, and then we really go into the details. Now, how does it work? How does it look like? And we as well have at the end a Q&A session. The ones that attended these webinars already a few times, you may know we have this GoToWebinar side panel, and my colleague Claire, which you as well I think know very well as one of the supporting team members here behind the chat in IamIP, and she's monitoring the chat. And if questions pop up that somehow fit in to what I'm just talking about, she will right away raise it. Otherwise, we will talk about these points at the end. So your questions are not forgotten. So please really make use of this side panel. Good, but then let's first of all make a little bit of a warm-up session. So meaning, let me just share the screen here in the different direction, or maybe let's do the other way around. Let me move that here. So all of you, please maybe join the session. If you can maybe scan in the QR code, then we have a few warm-up things, or otherwise go to menti.com and use the code at the very top. I'm just waiting that a few more people perfect coming in, so that's really good. A lot of oh yeah, so many thumbs up. Yeah, so okay, now it's smoothing down. Good, but then let's get started. So meaning the first thing, of course, what I would like to know is this morning is a bit like, how is your mood currently? Like, are you excited for the webinar? Do you need some more coffee? Are you still, let's say, waking up? Maybe you are in a different time zone than the CET time. And wow, I think we have a pretty strong winner. Normally it's a bit more evened out, but this time, the curiosity is the biggest one. So great to see that. And then, of course, the second question. I mean, as vacation time is somehow depending on countries and regions starting or coming or not starting. I mean, as you know, we are a Swedish company, and there the summer vacation is really long, sometimes ranging 4, 5, 6 weeks. Then here in Germany, it's more like the 2 or 3 weeks time. Yeah, but as well a good balance. So some are just back, some are coming. At least good to see that everybody takes vacation as vacation. I think it's good that we don't put the work in the vacation. Great, but it really feels we are on track. So meaning, let's get back to our presentation. And as mentioned, a few of you are joining that maybe don't know us. So there, very briefly, I will not take too much time here, but we are now around for 13 years, so already quite established, I would say. And what are we doing? We basically provide a tool for handling third-party patents. We have a big focus on collaboration, on monitoring. So we really believe that knowledge sharing in the company is important, and that together you can do things better, faster, smoother than when you are the lonely ranger. So meaning that's why we have this this big focus as well with a very easy user interface. And one thing which I think is really one of a kind at IamIP is our support, the customer success team, which not only consists of product specialists, but as well really of people that know IP, that can really guide you, that can help you even with processes. So something really appreciated by a lot of our customers. Good, but enough about us. Well, let's continue to the background to this topic now. And I can imagine many of you somehow know this. So maybe just a short question. You can please raise up your hand if you feel the same, that no matter if you make a patent search or if you run the monitorings, for example, or if you somehow just have to go through a list that somebody shared to you. I mean, there are always a lot of patents that you have to go through in order to really find, the one important patent or the few important patents. And therefore, it's maybe a little bit contradicting or ambiguous, depending on how you say it. If you finally, find from this big chunk of documents, the 1, the 5, the 10 documents which are really critical, really important, you somehow feel really good, like you see here with the smiling face here. At the same time, of course, it means that there are potentially problems coming around for you. And the second big work really begins for you now. So meaning if you identify, let's say, 5 patents which are really of importance, of course, patents are legal documents, so to say, protecting the invention, but it means that you really have to understand the legal coverage, which is actually presented in the claims. So meaning once you found important documents, you have to jump into the claims to really understand the legal coverage. And in many cases, it looks like this. I just took an example from the IamIP platform. So you have a scroll bar on the right to really go down. I think in this case, we have around 50 claims. So like really a lot of text, a lot of things to go through. And just out of curiosity for this webinar, I was looking up the, let's say, patent with the most amount of claims. And there's a US document having 838 claims, I think. And imagine you have to go now through 800 something claims and really understand them. It's a full, I don't know, week's work or whatever. Particular as the claims are really the legal coverage. I mean, the language as well has to be very precise and very legal. And it can be quite challenging. So therefore, talking to a lot of our customers, I mean, how do you do that today? What is, so to say, the current process, the current challenge is typically what you see a 6-step process. Again, I took some screenshot from IamIP, from our examiner view. As you may know, you can put claims and description to separated pop-ups. So meaning the way to go as of now is you go into the claims, like we see here, it's some kind of a television system, and you start reading the claims. And whenever you find something which is maybe unclear for you, let's say we have this presentation system, then of course you have to look into the description of the very same document in order to understand what does presentation system means, because the claims have to be supported by the description. And then you open the description, you use the Control F button, you paste in presentation system, and now I think the next challenge popped up. You see that here the wording is highlighted 56 times. And you see on the right hand side where it is. So meaning now we go through it step by step to somehow really understand how is presentation system defined, what does it cover, and then you as well have to somehow document it when we went through all of these things. And this was now just the first wording. If we go along and maybe, I don't know, we have another question about this television distribution network, the process happens over and over again. And that means what type of challenges do we have? It's really time consuming. We have this challenging patent language. And as well as a very repetitive work, and you know, we are human beings, nah? It is as well somehow prone to errors, and you know, maybe the quality is slipping. Nah? So that's why I always like to say this is a bit of a detective's work. And therefore, again, a little bit of a question now to all of you. If you go back to the presentation here, if you think a bit about your own, let's say, work let's say on some average patterns, if you really have to go into the claims, like how much does it take to get a good understanding of the coverage, like 5, 15, 30, or maybe even more? Good. So it seems we are really on the higher end. So 15 to 30 minutes or maybe more. Yeah. So really see, like it's a lot of time, and a lot of time where you have to really stay focused on concentrated. So thanks a lot for all the inputs here. So if you're now able to somehow, you know, reduce that timing, as a lot of our clients wish, I think we can really benefit hugely from that and use that for other things where the intellectual work is really needed. Good, and therefore, let's move along. Now we know the problem, the challenge. We as well got a feeling how much time you really need for the investigation. And there now is, let's say, the solution here from our side, our new module, the AI Claim Clarifier. And before I jump live into it, I would just like to recap, you know, just the slide that we saw before, how you traditionally do it with these 6 steps. Now with the Claim Clarifier, which is basically here now a new module on the right-hand side, we go down from 6 to just 3 steps. What does it mean? We again are in the IamIP platform. We again look at the claims. Let's say now we have a new document about some protection device, and this ground fault protection system is somehow unclear for us. Now we again mark it like we did before, but we don't need to copy it. We don't need to open the description. We don't need to search in the description. We only have to click on generate definition in this claim clarifier. And then right away, like without any barriers, without any interruptions, you right away get how this term is defined by the description of the very same document. And further on, you see it on the right-hand side, it's directly stored in IamIP. So meaning it is a very smooth process. You don't have to do this a lot of clicking, searching, and it really, can save a lot of time. So meaning to sum it up, what does it do? It's basically a large language model which looks only at the description of the identical patent document, and it really prepares a precise definition of the terms that you are selecting. And again, talking about this language barriers that we had before, it transfers the patent language into an everyday language. So the response, the definition that you are getting is something really in an everyday normal text. And one thing as well important here, we directly store that in it, so it's collaboratively used by as well your colleagues. And therefore, last but not least, I would like to give a big shout out here to our IamIP community. Maybe the ones that don't know it, it's a group of around, I think, 40-50 customers of ours, which meet once a quarter to talk about IamIP, but even other things. And they are supporting me or IamIP in the development activities. So here we really had a very close collaboration. Like where's really the challenge? How could we help you? And we even iterated first versions, first mock-ups, and even got the final, let's say, approval test done. So meaning thanks a lot here to the IamIP community, which helped us. And if somebody's interested, doesn't know about it, feel free to as well contact me afterwards. Good, but then let's jump into the live demo. I always like to use some use cases, and the ones that follow IamIP know that I'm a fan of bikes, and therefore I thought we just simulate now again a company called IamBikes, and we are currently working on a damping system on the front fork, which somehow, you know, with sensors screens the path, the road that we are on to flexibly adjust the damping capabilities. And now we have made a search. Now we created a portfolio, and now we would like to somehow go through the most critical patent documents. So switching now into IamIP, I think the ones that don't know what you see here, this is the home screen. So when you log in, you basically have all the main functions on the left-hand side, and then your personal or your collaborative data centrally here. So meaning all those weekly alerts, all those legal status watches, and now important for our project, now we have the portfolios where you really long-term store and collaborate. So meaning, let's jump into this first case for our project. So we done a search, identified around the 1600 documents, and now we would really like to go into the details and understand, for example, like what do these documents entail, what do they comprise, and for the ones that look interesting, we as well would like to look at the claims and understand the claims. So let's begin here. This is now a document as well as shock absorbing. It's in the front fork. Let's say a hook. It has some sensors, so it looks quite interesting. Maybe let's have a short look with the examiner view on the pictures here. And yeah, so that looks quite relevant for us. So now let's jump into the claims. So these are the claims now. And as mentioned before, the traditional way would be to just compare or copy and search for the things you don't know. Now we have on the right-hand side our AI toolkit. Just expanding it. And you see we have the summarizer, which you already have for around a year, that creates you this, let's say, core of the invention. And now we have the new tab of the AI Claim Clarifier. So let's say we are starting now. Now we have an intelligent shock absorbing and adjust a front force device for shared bicycle. Okay, first thing for us, okay, what does it now really mean? Now, what is the front fork device? How is it described in the context of exactly this patent? And therefore, I could now, like you see, I'm just marking the terms that I would like to have explained, front fork device. And now I can either click on generate definition, or we always have the focus on keeping things quick. So you can as well just use the button D. And now very quickly, as mentioned, it's seamless. It directly appears in the claims itself. The front fork in this patent refers to shock absorbing system. Front wheel, okay. That it uses sensors. Now as well, really interesting for us. And we see even that the sensors like check like the weight, the speed, the vibrations. So well, already really a lot of content. It really helps us already to set the tone. And now we just go along the claim. One thing we could do in order to keep it maybe short and precise, you see by just a click on the what we have highlighted, we can again unhighlight it and only see it on the right hand side. But then again, in order to be transparent, we always see, like you see here, front fork device. So meaning the terms we have already explained, we will even find them right away visible in later claims. So you don't have to keep in mind what you already did. It just automatically highlighted to you. And now if you maybe go on lower end main bracket, shock absorber adjustment mechanism, again, something I would like to understand. What is now behind this shock and absorbing and adjustment mechanism. And again, refers to an industry designed for shared bicycles. Okay, comfort and adaptability. Hydraulic cylinders are used, for example. So meaning if you maybe use a different technology, maybe just not hydraulic, but maybe just a spring, for example, mechanical things, that could already help us here to understand, maybe now capital, we are going around that. And that's how it works. So we really mark the terms that we don't know that we need to have explained. IamIP is then showing that to you on the right-hand side. We as well have translation capabilities. If you are maybe a German, Swedish user or whatever, and you can really get the results in your personal preferred language. And the good thing is now everything is stored here. So if you now leave IamIP, just like I said, I go to home, I pretend to have logged out, I go in tomorrow again, I right away have the definitions from the day before. Or continuing, I maybe would like to work collaboratively with my colleague Jonas, who is a project member. I share the portfolio to my colleague Jonas, just as an example. And now going to Jonas here on the second screen, he right away get this project shared. And now maybe he's not that experienced, he doesn't know that much about patterns. He can as well go to Toolkit and as well directly can benefit from my already prepared definition. So really, we are providing a lot of value to even other colleagues. Good, but that was the live presentation. I would just like to highlight one more thing to all of you as well. The ones that maybe follow us for already quite some time, I think you are aware that IamIP is not just about features. So we don't just put new functionality in somewhere and that's it. We really always try to think about the whole workflow. And therefore, if we now think about the AI Claim Clarifier, it's really something that we are integrating in our end-to-end process, for example, for the pattern monitoring process, so those weekly alerts. So just to give you a feeling what I'm talking about, let's say it's beginning of the week, we have received our new monitoring results. And step one could be that we use our AI categorizer, so these AI models, which really knows what's important for you or not, which was released around 2 years ago. So meaning maybe you get 200 hits, and the AI categorizer already tells you only 50 of them are relevant. So meaning our, for example, R&D domain experts, they go in, filter for the relevant ones that are proposed, and only check those 50 documents. Then if they find something maybe a bit unclear, they can use this pattern summarizer, which I shortly showed you next to the clarifier, because it's again a large language model, an AI process, which really extracts the core of the invention of the patent, so that let's say the domain expert can very quickly understand, it's out of scope, I can drop it, or I really need to dive into the details. And now we are making the twist to these more recent functionalities that we released. We have added a so-called IamIP rule system. It's an automation which can, for example, automatically notify or copy patterns to somewhere else. And this could be now the trigger. The domain experts identified from those 50, maybe 10 really important documents. He could rank them, let's say, with a 5-star. And by our IamIP rule system, automatically a notification is triggered to, for example, the IP responsible, which then only gets access or only needs to analyze, let's say, these 5-10 documents, and you could there use the claim clarifier that we just seen. So meaning on every level in IamIP, you can significantly save time and reduce the workload so that you can really spend your focus time only on where it is really needed. So meaning if you look at this funnel, now we have 200 in already in step 1, our IP domain expert only needs to look at 40. Then he maybe uses the summarize on another 20. He shares then the 10 important to the IP responsible, and he uses the clarifier to be very quickly through with that. So meaning really an end-to-end assisted cycle. Good, but then, as always, a bit of a summary. So meaning the claim interpretation or the claim analysis is something really challenging. It's very time-consuming. It's a very, this repetitive switching, and so meaning there's some challenges with errors that could pop up due to us being human beings. So meaning the clarifier really significant helps you here, because it not only presents the results in everyday language, but as well is doing a thoroughly investigation of it. And in connection with these other modules, there's really like a time saver on every level of the monitoring process. So meaning efficiency is increased, the complexity is significantly reduced. We avoid any risk or can mitigate risk because everything is clearly and precise. And as you as well saw, there's a big focus on knowledge sharing. Everybody can access the claim clarifying results of the colleagues in the shared data. Good. Before we come to the questions, maybe just one last time. If that now interests you someone, really please reach out to us. There's a free trial of this AI Claim Clarifier. So either via the support at IamIP.com or just contact your direct customer success manager. And with that said, we have 28, so good timing as well. So maybe the word to you, Claire. Do we have any questions, anything?
Yeah, we had some questions. I think you might have covered most of them, but just in relation to accuracy of the definitions, could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, this question, I mean, of course, pops up like regularly, and if you may recall, like the example that I showed to you at the beginning, for example, shock absorbing device. This is like a very clear term, and there, like the accuracy is, I mean, it's like very, very good. We even have a lot of customers that have tried it with these types of definitions across chemical areas, mechanical, like electrical, and that's really one of a kind. And of course, if you start to not only select like a fixed term, but let's say you select a whole claim, then of course it means the whole, all those words in there somehow explained and analyzed. Then of course it is a bit more challenging to have a good results, but that's as well not the purpose. The purpose is really you have certain technical terms, and if you mark them and get the results, the accuracy and the quality is very, very good.
And then just somebody wants to know, can you add your own notes to the definitions, or can you store them?
That's a good one. That's possible. So maybe for all of you to, I can maybe quickly go back to the IamIP platform here. So if you, I think that we have it now. So meaning if you work with the AI toolkit now, you have the option to write, to either copy it, then you have it in the cache. But what we directly integrated just for this purpose is that you can say, really important, I want to have it even more prominent. I want to lift it up as a review. So you see that here. And then of course you can say, I don't know, you can make some, like you see here, manual updates, so that it is that you can even add more context to it. Any further questions or?
Yeah, just the last question then. They just to clarify that the definitions stay there as long as you want, but you can also delete them.
Exactly. So meaning of the reviews, like you see here, you can always, of course, your own, you can remove, and the same goes for the definitions. You see that here, that you can remove your own definitions, or if you are the power user to a portfolio, then you can as well delete other people's other definitions. But that's possible as well, because typically you maybe get started in a claim and then you have a lot of stuff to go through, and some maybe doesn't make sense. So then you can really tidy it up that only the maybe 2, 3, 4 definitions are remaining.
Yep, I think that covers everything on my side.
Great. Anyone else having some more questions? Good, but then, well, and thank you all for attending. we wish you all a really nice remaining week. And if any questions, just reach out and stay tuned for another, I think, really interesting webinar in the next 1-2 months, where we talk about automation and further improvements and reduction of manual work. So really stay tuned. There's a lot of interesting things coming up. Thank you all. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.